Welcome to Mixed Declassified Shattering Survival Guide. Today we're going to do a creature breakdown rather than a standard tip. So what we're going to be looking at is the unicorn family of creatures. And I'm going to do a breakdown of different ones and how to identify different creatures from this family. Through some hard work, I've gotten artist renditions I stole from the internet that give basic overviews of what these different creatures look like. So we're going to start with the base, the most commonly, well, not the most common, but the most familiar creature, which is most unfamiliar in this setting. I'm not going to tell you how to deal with these creatures. That would require entirely different videos. I'm just going to help you identify them and know how to get, or what to do immediately upon seeing or being near one, right? So if we're going to start with unicorns. Now you may be thinking, unicorn, 12-year-old girls, birthday parties. That is not the kind of creature we're dealing with. The creature we're dealing with in the world of Paragon Exordium is much fiercer, much more dangerous, much less unreliable, much less pretty. Look at this. They're furry. They're smaller than a horse, by and large. I know they can get bigger. They've got different kind of hooves. They're kind of goatish. They've got long manes, strange tails, horns like that. Very dangerous. If you see one of these in the distance or nearby, leave. Do not go near it. If you find bark that has lines on, like tree bark or trees that have been marred by a strange rubbing, like a unicorn horn or stabbing points in it, leave that territory. They're very territorial creatures and they will mess you up. Do not engage a unicorn by yourself. And if you do engage a unicorn and you manage to defeat it, get out, and you're gonna rinse yourself with vinegar to hide the smell, because its herd will come after you if it smells you. And they will track you down. So vinegar wash for a month if you want to build it. See, I said we wouldn't get into survival tips, but here we are getting into survival tips. So number 2, we're going to talk about Pegasus. Pegasus are much larger than unicorns, much more traditionally horsish. Hard to say that. They are basically just winged horses. That's really all there is to it. Some have intelligence, from what I understand. Some can actually communicate verbally, which is bizarre. As far as I'm aware, unicorns can't, but I could be wrong. So always watch out for intelligent creatures. Thirdly, alicorn. An alicorn you will recognize is very similar to a Pegasus, except it has a horn like unicorn. Unlike its cousin, the unicorn, it's not small and goatish like the unicorn. It's much larger, much more on par with like a Clydesdale horse. They're massive creatures with enormous wings and that magic horn that can fly. I do not know whether or not they can speak. Since they're related to the Pegasus, I would assume they can, but from what I've heard, they're much more warish and less talkative than Pegasus is from rumors of. Again, I have not encountered any of these individuals. I've just heard stories from other people who've survived the shattering. Lastly, because I'm running out of time, we're going to talk about centaurs. There's some debate about where to classify a centaur, or should they be more along the lines of like a dryad, I think, or what are the other ones called? Someone's telling me the goat people. Satyrs, I think. Satyrs, whatever they're called. Centaurs are not satyr brand. They're all the minor Fey races, or the Fey Mia, I believe. No. Yes, the Fey Mia is what the elves and dwarves call them. So, centaurs, very intelligent, because this is you'll recognize it when you see it immediately. It is a horse with a human torso coming out the front. I've heard rumors of mantars, which are just it's a horse. It's just man, and that is horrifying. And I hope they don't actually exist. I hope those are just rumors made by people to scare people. But I would advise, if you see a mantar, just run. Centaurs, from what I understand, also very secretive, very private. You're very unlikely to encounter one or see one, because they just don't like interacting with people a whole lot. But I do hear they're very wise and like to study the stars, whatever that means. Not that the stars make any sense when the sky's shattered. I don't understand how they do that whatsoever. But all that to say, watch out if you see a horse-like being and it's not a horse. Heck, if you see a horse, watch out for horses. I'm pretty sure there's... I don't know what they're called, but I have heard rumors of sharp-toothed horses with red eyes. I would seriously avoid those too. So if you find a horse, that's a tip. We don't have time for tips. I'm sorry. But yeah, those are the quick identifiers for the main types of horse-like beings you will find in the world of Paragon Exordium post-shattering, which is the magical apocalypse that has ended our world. And I'm sure this guy, this military guy from S&W, who commented on one of my previous survival videos, has something to say about these creatures and how to handle them. But we'll see if he has the gall to challenge me on my expertise. Maybe he's encountered one and has more to add, which would be interesting. All that to say, as the elves say, Lumeni, which I believe means walk under blue skies. May you walk under blue skies. Something like that.